There, I got it working.
There we go.
Working. I think it's working. It's working on there. Okay. Yeah. I can hear myself. I can hear myself. I don't want to hear myself. There we go. What's up? It's Harley. You're on the first episode of the review with me and Grizzly. I will let him introduce himself.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Grizzly. I am your soon to be, if not already, favorite singing streamer, and we are here reviewing Quiet on Set, the Dark Side of Kids TV. Oh, jeez. What can I say about this?
What can we not say about this?
As for people our age who grew up with Nickelodeon, this is a true eye opener. I mean, these are shows that we watched as kids that really defined our lives if you think about it. And
This this was a headache.
it was a headache, it was an eye opener. It's sad, it infuriates you. There's so many emotions that goes on as I watch. I I'll tell you what, it really draws you in. Like, I could not put it down. I had to put it down because unfortunately I had to go to bed because for work, but as soon as I had a free moment, I picked it right back up.
Well, I was about to say, did you finish it? Because I
Oh, I
finished it.
did. I did.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes. It's like, what,
For
45 minutes each?
about an hour. They're about an hour episode a piece. So about 4 hours worth of it. And it is 4 hours that you guys are going to want to watch.
It is 4 hours of our childhood getting ruined.
Exactly.
But you still want to watch it. It's like, I started it, and I was like, okay. First, I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't going to watch it at first, but everybody kept talking about it. And I'm like, hmm, dare I venture?
Yeah, I remember you sending me a message on Twitter saying, "I'm scared to watch it." And I was
I
like, you have to.
I was scared to watch it because we already had the thing with Bill Cosby.
Mhm.
And a lot of us grew up watching, it was either Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, like they said in the documentary. It was either Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. And then there was also, you had the Cosby Show, you
Yep.
had, was it, A Different World,
I'm
Fresh
not sure.
Prince of Bel Air. It's like,
Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Yeah, I mean, all those shows, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. But you got to realize, if you want to go into the Bill Cosby thing, a whole nother generation had Fat Albert. You know,
yeah, and it's like, okay, we had the whole thing with Bill Cosby. We had the whole thing with R. Kelly. R. Kelly wants to do,
our generation is truly messed up.
it's like it's nothing sacred for us. And then we had the whole thing with Orlando going crazy talking about, oh, I was, somebody touched me and this that, and the other, and he's from Disney Channel. Now we don't know if anything like what happened on Nickelodeon actually happened on Disney, because from what he was saying, what happened to him, and nobody knows if it's true or not, it wasn't necessarily on the set. It was away.
Yeah.
So as far as I can honestly think, I don't think anything happened like actually on
Anything
Disney.
that you got to realize, anything that was made aware. The only reason this has been made aware of is because you think about it, and we'll get into it later as we go through this. But the pedophiles that were caught at Nickelodeon, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, but there's a big plot twist in part of this
There is, and
that
I mean, we'll
we're
take
going to
it
just,
as
but
as we go.
like I told you, and it even explains it in the very first part of the very first episode of this. You know, that kind of the sexual assault and the shady backward shit and the pedophilia and all that shit, everyone's rampant in Hollywood. Everyone's rampant through that whole scene, and they talk about it. And you know every seems like
It's messed up.
What did I tell you the other day? Hollywood breeds narcissists with money and power.
Yeah, and you kind of ruined John Travolta for me. I'm like, no, not John.
I, but you kind of ruined John Travolta for yourself, though.
No, Amanda Bynes did that.
Yeah,
She did that.
as well she should have.
From that little TikTok thing that I found and I seen, because I was like,
That
oh,
that went real viral after that because I came home and said got into a random conversation with my girlfriend and said nothing to her, and she brought that up.
oh wow. Yeah, no, it's because people on Facebook were like, oh, Amanda Bynes tried to warn everybody. Nobody wanted to listen to her.
I was
And
just
I'm like,
every
what?
and everybody called her crazy, but who's the real crazy ones? Are we crazy? Is she crazy for the way she acted, or are we crazy for not believing her and all the shit that might, which more than likely did happen to her?
What I think, we're not crazy for whether we believed her or not, because we were kids ourselves. So we didn't know what was going on. But now the adults in the situation at that time, it's a little questionable.
Well, and if we're gonna start jumping into that, we're gonna start jumping into this. Remember the very beginning of episode three of this series, the the mom who didn't report the pedophile to the police who emailed her
No,
daughter
she was episode two.
was I thought it was three.
No, episode three was Drake. We're not getting into him yet because that's where I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. Yeah, no, she was episode two.
Was it the beginning of episode two?
Yeah, I believe
Man,
so.
I
Because episode one was basically,
Dan
it was
Schneider.
talking about those. It was introducing us to what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was talking about those two ladies that worked there and how Dan treated them differently
Yep.
compared to the
Yeah,
other guys.
the sexism and the creepy shit.
Yeah,
Not creepy shit, just the over sexualization and you know, the demeaning of women, and this shit's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. And so,
It's
I
crazy.
mean,
You fi- you see that money, that power, I shouldn't say money, but power truly lets you get away with anything.
terrible, terrible. I feel bad for all these. Well, they're not kids anymore. They're like our age or older. But I feel
Yeah.
bad for all of them. And then some of them, it's like, you really dodged a bullet.
And
And
some of,
you,
I mean, but did they really dodge a bullet? Because, I mean, not only, like I said, Drake, but like, I can't remember his name now. Oh, fuck. Well, there's a couple of them. The one nerdy kid with the
yeah, I know.
glasses, and I can't remember his name.
Kyle, I think, right?
Yeah, well, that was Kyle. I think that was Kyle, but the one black guy,
The
um
black guy.
not the one that was wearing the leather coat and had the beard. You know,
I
he was.
think,
I know he was in the first. He was in the first. He was big in the first episode. But the substance abuse and the alcoholism and the therapy that they all went through because of all that stuff. Kids are impressionable, especially at that age, and they just took advantage of them.
they really
It's
did.
absolutely, it's not only disturbing, but it's crazy. How there were no there were no protections for kids back then.
I think there was protection. It was just the simple fact that the way he had everything going, and he was able to manipulate a lot of the parents in the situation to the point where they just believed everything he said. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, there was a lot of manipulation, yeah, but Nickelodeon did nothing for the longest time because Dan Schneider was their
Oh,
moneymaker, their cash cow. You know.
yeah, and then it's like on top of that, they didn't have enough people actually stepping forward and saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
this, and this."
But
They just
I,
kind of
yeah, but if
put
you
them.
look, yeah, but and if you look at it, I think they talked about it like the whole first season of at least the first season of like all that. You know, they had no education on set. They were literally just working them like adults, and you know they even talked about, you know, they even had the kid laws, the child laws that prevented them from working so much, but they found loopholes to make that to get them to work, you know, longer than what they were supposed to.
Yeah. So let me see. Let me pull this up so we can get the beginning of it.
What's that?
I'm gonna pull it up so we can get the
All
beginning of
right.
episode one. Is it showing? I don't think it's showing.
It's not showing up here. I can, yeah,
There it
there
goes.
it goes.
Let me take it. Pull us up. Let's pull you up. Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Right.
All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull us.
Back to what you were saying, as a parent, if I heard somebody like Dan Schneider say something like that about one of my daughters, there'd be murder on set. That's the best way I can put it. Because especially, let me just say this. I'm no by no means a little man. And but for that fat motherfucker to be saying some shit like that about a kid, like look in the fucking look, take a look in the fucking mirror. You ain't got no room to be saying anything about anybody being fat.
That shit pissed me off because this is coming from adults that these kids are supposed to trust at the
Yeah.
time.
And
And
shit like that is what causes eating disorders,
yeah,
you
and it's
know.
like I I have three daughters.
I have
I
four.
I might joke around with them. Like I'll tell my oldest sometimes when she's pissing me off, I was like, "Get your fat ass over there, or get your little ass over there." But I never tell her like, "Oh yeah, you're fat. You need to lose weight." Like she'll tell me, "Oh, I want to go work out. Like she's a teenager. She's trying to get comfortable with
Yeah.
her body." And I'm just like, "You're fine." I might joke around with you, and I mean, I'm hard on my kids,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
if I'm not hard on them, this world's gonna eat them alive,
Oh, exactly.
and they're not gonna know how to handle it.
Exactly.
And it's like
Yeah.
even
That's
even
one.
with my best friend, her kids, I treat them like mine, and she knows this. That's why she never tells me anything. Like
Yeah.
I will flat out argue with her son, her youngest son. I will sit here and I will argue with him
Oh
like
yeah.
nothing, and it's just I'm just like I'll tell him like I love you, but you need to grow up.
But see, there's a difference. There's a difference between being an asshole parent
Yeah.
and tough love.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
she knows that because she's like, if I ever felt like you were doing something in a kind of way that I didn't approve of, I wouldn't let you talk to my kids like that. But I know that you love my
Yeah.
kids like they're your own, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, yeah, because even her oldest son, he acts like a little bitch sometimes.
Oh yeah. And
And
you
I
know.
told him, I'll tell him, I'll be like, you're acting like your uncle. You need to stop for you. I don't want your girl to be a little bitch because I will stop talking to you.
Oh yeah.
And he'll just
But
look at me, and
the
I was
thing
like,
is, the thing is, like in today's society, most people don't want to be parents. They want to be their kid's best friend. They're not raising they these the world is tough and only getting tougher. Like it's only getting worse. Like if you do not have teach your kids that this world is not kind, we
they're
end
gonna
up
rip us
we
off.
we end up with kids that eat fucking Tide Pods. We end up with kids that eat toilet bowl ramen. We end up with kids that think the knockout game is cool until one of those kids tries to knock out the wrong person and ends up getting shot or ends up
What are you doing?
severely hurt, you know. If you don't, you know, but there's like I said once again, there's a difference between being the tough love parent
Compared to what
and
they did.
the tough love parent and the asshole parent, you know.
Yeah, it's like the way they did it. Oh, she's getting fat. She can't be the fat one. They could have just been like, let's work on a diet or let's try to. How would you feel about getting her a certain way? Like, there's other ways they could have went about saying it,
Oh,
and then
absolutely.
Katrina heard it, and
Yeah.
it still fucks with her because she still hears it. And I
Yeah,
mean,
and she's our age.
yeah, and I have seen people our age that are streamers
Yeah.
that are insecure about their looks and their weight and everything else because they still have these mean people that come into their stream wanting to sit up here and play this game of calling them ugly or calling them fat. And it's just
Hi,
like,
hi, it's me. I'm streamers. You know.
I mean, it's like, you're only going to have your looks for so long.
Yeah.
You're going to have your looks for so long. Like, I'm looking at pictures of my grandma from when she was younger. And the way she looked when she was younger to the way that she looks as an old woman, we only have our looks for so long.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got to have a personality. If you have an ugly heart, then it's like
Well, that's what.
you might look good
Yeah.
now, but you still have an ugly heart. You still look
Let
like a jackass, and I hope you die
eh,
alone.
let me give you a perfect example because this is something that actually happened to me. Right. So I'm a little bit about Grizzly. Grizzly's day job, Grizzly's moneymaker. I'm a truck driver as for a living. Okay. So one day I'm on my way back. I'm on my way back to the yard. I just stop, get a cup of coffee, use the bathroom, so on and so forth. I stop, travel plaza along the highway, you know, and I go in, use the bathroom, standing in line to get a cup of coffee, standing in line to get a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts in Travel Plaza. And this woman walks in, right? So anybody that knows me knows I'm nice to everybody. I'm,
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't do you any good in the world to just be a dick for no fucking reason. So I'm standing there in line. I'm standing there in line. This woman walks by, and I look up, look over at her. We make eye contact. I say hi to her, just being kind.
yeah.
You know what she does? She turns around, looks at me, and goes, "Ooh, no fat ass." Out of no. So I turned around, looked at her, and said, "That's fine. I may be fat, but I can change that. That ugly ass soul you ain't ever gonna get rid of."
That's my god. Like, I just,
I don't understand what possesses somebody to just be nasty like that for no fucking reason.
oh god, it's like with me, I have my resting bitch face on 24/7 for the most part, unless I'm with my kids. My kids, I'm gonna smile if I'm comfortable with you, or I feel like you're not a complete dumbass. You know, you'll see a softer side of me. But
I mean, look at me. I'm 6 foot tall, 315 pounds. They call me Grizzly for a reason. I constantly look like I'm going to murder you if you so much as look at me. But like I said, I'll talk to anybody. you know, I'm
I
nice to anybody until you give me a reason not to be. You know,
I I will talk to anybody, but I might have a straight face. Like, it's really just me kind of figuring you out and trying to see, unless I'm focused on something.
yeah.
I mean, I had one of my friends tell me the other day in a VC. He was like, "Harley, you scare me sometimes." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I just don't know. I feel like you know how to hide a body." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's
I
like,
mean,
see that right there." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Who
I
hides
have
what body?
no idea what you mean.
Body? I mean, but like I told you, I'm from Texas, so out here Like all this shit that's going on in this, the right ones, you're gonna find the right one and you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah,
And
right.
and they're not gonna find you.
It's,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, they're not gonna find you.
See,
And
yeah, exactly. My thing is though, my thing is though, is that old saying we all talk about. Nobody ever, most people don't ever seem to follow it. I can't say all people because I know some really good people, and surprisingly, I've met some very good people on Twitter. You know, but like, just be kind because you never know what somebody's going through.
yeah,
You know,
I
that lady that said what she said to me could have said that to somebody else. Could have said that to somebody else, and they could have, already been they could have already been upset and depressed about something else. You might have caused them to, you know, hurt themselves in some sort of way. And you don't know. Do
yeah,
you really want that kind of karma on you?
I don't. That's why that one saying we grew up with: if you don't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Half the time, I'm just looking at people like, ooh, the things I wish I could say, the things I wish I could say. Just yeah, and it takes a lot for me to actually completely go off on somebody.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my kids, and I like people have heard me say it, I might cuss my kids out, but if somebody comes after them, I don't care if you're a kid yourself. I fight kids.
Hey, yeah, fuck them kids. My saying, fuck them kids.
I swear to God, like odds are, like if anybody's gonna be a bully to my kids, it's gonna be me because I'm not gonna take it too far. Y'all take it too far, and you get my kids feeling some type of way. Mama's gonna step in, and Mama's not gonna play that game because I'm
Well, I
gonna.
mean, did you hear about that? Did you hear about that girl in the new the fight in the news where that girl was beating that girl's head off the concrete, put her in a coma,
Yeah, I
and
was about to fuck out.
and now that girl's in prison,
No, get that plate down.
or she's good, or they're talking about trying her as an adult. She's already in kids prison, but they're talking about trying her as an adult. Apparently, I heard on the news just the other day that the girl that did that to that girl,
Hmm.
apparently she did it more so in self-defense because that girl that she beat the shit out of was bullying and picking on her.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this. My my 13-year-old, her dad flat out told her, somebody's picking on you. You beat him up. And I told her, you let them get the first hits and it's self defense.
My thing is, if somebody's if somebody's just, you know, bullying and picking on you, so on and so forth, if it's words, the old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But I'm gonna tell you, if one of my daughters, I've already I've already told my daughter, my daughter, because I say daughters, but I have one daughter, and my other half, I have three bonus kids that I
Yeah.
love to pieces. I've already told my 9-year old that if somebody's making fun of you, saying mean things about you, just ignore it. But the minute they put hands on you, I and you have my full permission, and you will never get in trouble to drop them.
Yeah.
I
That's how it should be. I
I
mean,
will go to court. I will go to court. And I will fight everybody in your defense, and you will never once get in trouble. That
I feel like if it's verbal to a certain extent, yeah, let it go. But there's some things that you don't tell somebody thinking that you're not going to get a repercussion.
yeah,
So, like, let's say, just an example, you have your kids are in school, they're in middle school, high school, one of their parents dies. somebody's bullying them and they want to throw in there, oh, I'll spit on, you know, whatever parent died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll spit on their grave and I'll do this, this, and that, and the other. Oh yeah, no, those are fighting words right there. Those
Yeah.
are fighting words. You don't say that. But just saying like, oh, you're fat, you're ugly. Okay, that
Yeah.
you might exchange a few words, but my whole
No,
thing
I
is like,
100% agree with you. There's certain topics you don't touch. You know,
yeah,
dead
and
parent, something like a dead parent, like a dead parent, that would be one of them. You know,
like
stuff like that.
a dead parent or a dead relative that they're
Yeah.
close to, like, you don't do that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff like that. That's a different story. But like you said, if somebody's
Like,
calling you fat, if they're just picking on you to try to get a rise out of you,
mm,
stupid stuff. You know,
to a certain extent, I just
yeah,
let it go. Like, I mean, I've had people tell me, "Oh, you seem like such a bitch," or this, that, and the other, and I'm just like, look, it took me a long time to get to the point where I can actually sit here and decide if I want to put my hands on you or not. And I was telling one of my streaming friends that he's kind of like a brother to me now. Like, we get along well. But I was telling him, like, what scares me about myself is if it gets to a point where I have to put my hands on you. That scares me because I don't know how to stop. I don't care if I win or lose, but once I get my hands around your neck, that's it. Like,
see,
I had I had a situation with my oldest when I was pregnant with her. I was
yeah,
7 months pregnant. My brother kept coming at me. He pissed me off so bad. I'm 7 months pregnant. I got my hands around his throat, knocked him to the floor, got on top of him. I was choking him. And my mom, my ex, had to pull me off, and it took them, I think, like 10, 15 minutes to get me off because I was.
yeah.
And my ex, he was scared. He's like, okay, never pissing you off. Never.
That's fair. See, for me, I used to be. I had a lot of shit. I used to be angry. I used to be hyper violent. Like I was to the point where when I was younger, I would snap, and I mean snap to violence. Like it was 0 to 100. There was no in between. It was. But now, see, I'm to the point where, for one, I'm too old to fight. Because even when I win a fight, I lose a fight. Because even if I win a fight, I still wake up sore the next day. I'm still
Yeah,
hurting the next day. So there's no point. Two, like I said, I've built a level of peace that I'm just not going to let anybody disturb it anymore. You know, I just
yeah,
it's not worth me ruining my peace. You
yeah,
know,
exactly. And I agree with that 100%. That's why I'm saying, like, I've been through shit. I mean, I know a lot of people have been through shit, but if you want me to snap, come at one of my kids. Come at one of my kids. You want me to snap that bad? Or come at somebody in my family or somebody that I'm close to, and you come at them the wrong way? You
mm-hmm.
want me like you want a reaction? You're gonna get a reaction. Like, I mean, I posted on Twitter. I think it was last week. I had my little chongo on my wrist, and I have my chunkless on, and I'm like, oh, it might be a fight.
I remember seeing that. Yeah,
Yeah, I have an aunt that doesn't know how to keep her damn mouth shut.
yep. Let's see that, and that's the other thing. It's like there's a couple things in my life you don't fuck with. You don't fuck with my family. You don't fuck with my money. You don't fuck with my food. You know, and and as to what you were saying, just remember you got to just remember this another thing that I live by. Sometimes family's not always blood, and blood's not always family.
No, it's definitely not like that particular aunt.
She can get
I
fucked.
I said it like she was making me so mad. Like, it was a family situation. I'm not putting it out on here. I mean, I could tell you later off stream,
Yeah,
off the
you could always. Yeah, I wouldn't ask you to
but
do that.
strike one. I got mad. She tried to say, "Oh, my niece. I don't want her to put her hands." And I just looked at her. I'm like, I said I was gonna go off. I didn't say I was gonna put my hands on anybody. If I'm gonna put my hands on you, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna put my hands on you. Point blank and simple. Don't talk for me. I'm an adult. Don't talk for me. And she rolled her eyes. I'm like, all right. Strike two. A few days later, yapping off at the mouth. I'm just like, because she got mad that my uncle's son, she didn't know if he spoke to me when I got there. I was like, we're not here for me. We're not here for us. He doesn't have to speak to me. That's fine. But he did say hi. And my mom, she looks back down on her phone, and then my uncle, he's just like, well, he does speak kind of low. He's soft spoken. She kind of, I'm like, okay, strike two. Strike three, they were showing me something. She jumps up. She got too close. Starts running off at the mouth. I started yelling at her. I balled up my fist. I go outside to get on the phone. And then we're leaving. And my mom's just like, we thought you were going to hit her. And I'm like, and I
I
was like,
might have.
she was just saying that her and one of my uncles was looking because they were the closest ones to me. They were looking, trying to see what I was going to do. And my other uncle just,
That's me. I like to sit back, just watch the shit show.
yeah, like he just sat back, like, oh, so is she going to hit her? Or am I going to hit her? Somebody going to come to find out. She in there talking when I went out to make the phone call for my mom. She was in there saying, oh, she needs to stay out of grown folks' business. She is a child. And my uncle told her she 36, 37. She ain't a child no more. That ship sailed.
Right? That
And
ship
I'm
sailed.
like,
That ship sailed the minute I turned 18.
I was like, oh, she talking shit. She can't say it to my face. Oh, all right. Okay. So, I showed up. I had my triangle on my wrist. I had my chanclas on. And I'm just saying, my best friend showed up and she's like, I just want to make sure that, you know, you don't go to jail today. I just got to make sure. Like,
You always got to have that friend to make sure you don't go to prison.
she's like, you have a lot of anger that you have not released. And I'm scared of what the outcomes might be.
It's
And my best friend is pregnant right now. And I'm just like,
should should always have two friends, like one's the angel on the one shoulder and the other one's the devil on the other shoulder. The one should try to keep you from getting in trouble, so try to keep you from going to jail, and the other one should help you hide the body.
see, that's the thing. That's the problem with me. My oldest says, are we sure that grandpa's really your dad? Because I think Satan's your dad. So there's no good and bad. It's just there's bad and worse.
Like I
And
said,
right now we're dancing towards the worst one as opposed to just staying with the bad one.
like I said, for me, it just I let most of the shit go because, like I said, there's just nothing, including family, that's gonna disturb my peace. Friends, family, I've lost so many friends because, like I said, I'm just if you disturb my peace, see that
Mine,
door? See that door? Well, not that door. That door goes to the bathroom. That door over there.
I swear, it's like you mess up my kids, we're gonna have a problem.
hmm Oh yeah, don't
And
ever fuck with my kids.
when my daddy was alive, you mess, especially the way that his health got, and they even knew it because I put him in a nursing home.
Yeah,
I put him in a nursing home. They're like, oh, well, you could have him stay with you and this and other. I said, I don't want him with me because the way his health is, he needs somebody 24/7.
yep.
I don't know how to handle it. And if he dies while he's with me, that's going to shatter me more than
I feel
him
that.
dying
I feel
did.
that on a whole level.
And I mean, I had him in that nursing home, and I was cool with some of the nurses because they got to know me. And the administrator there, she got to know me too. And I remember it was one day I went up there, and my dad, he couldn't really talk, so he was scratching his arm, and I'm like, Daddy, you okay? And he just kept scratching his arm. I'm like, have you taken a bath? I'm like, oh. So I go outside and I tell the nurse that I'm like, when was the last time you gave him a bath? Oh, he's not due for a bath. I said, when was the last time you gave him a bath? Oh, we don't. I start walking up and down that hall, cussing everybody out, giving them. They're like, if you don't stop working to make you leave the process, you can't call back. I'm like, call your boss. Call your boss. They call it like, oh, oh, that's Mr. Joseph's daughter. Do what she says. Leave her alone. Do what she says. We're, we're not getting into that. And I just looked at her, I'm like, keep playing with me. Keep,
That's fair.
cause my dad had two daughters. He only claimed me. Cause my sister never wanted to be involved. That's fine. He said I was his only child. I lived that shit up growing up. So y'all want to tell me, oh, you're not on his paperwork? Ask him who the fuck I am. I walk in there and I look at Mr. Joseph. Is your daughter? Okay, we gonna leave you alone. I'm like, can you not tell the resemblance? Like I look just like my dad. My hair back, female version. I look just like him. Like, but it's just like how my dad was with me is how some of these parents should have been
Oh
with
yeah.
me, and
Oh yeah.
how I am with my kids. Like I said, I could be hard on them, and I am hard on them. I've cussed their little asses out on the stream before. I don't
Oh yeah.
care. I'm not putting on the show for nobody.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Like
gonna
it,
sit here and act
like
like no.
like I said, you, you gotta kind of be hard on your kids. You kind of have to be hard on your kids. My philosophy is, you know, I was raised by hard men in my life. You know, my grandfather came up during the Depression. My grandfather during the Great Depression, hard, grew up hard, and I mean hard, like not know, not knowing if he was going to eat that night. You know, and eating is literally what killed my grandfather. My grandfather, my grandfather, like I said, grew up during the Great Depression, not knowing if he was going to eat. So when he got a job, when he got hit, a job making, you know, working in the quarry, making, you know, 40, 30, 40, 50, $60 an hour,
Yeah.
he, if he wanted it, he went and bought it. He went and bought, if it came to food, if he wanted it, he bought it because, and that's what he always told us growing up. When I was growing up, you know, I grew up never knowing if I was gonna have food. So if I want something, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go eat it. It literally, he had diabetes and to change his diet. Refused to change his diet because of that, and that's literally what killed him. You know, my father was, like I said, my father was raised by my grandfather. You know, they were always working on farm. They had a farm. They were always working on a farm, or, you know, were always doing physical labor. And my dad, you know, my dad was tough on me. My dad was tough on me growing up. You know, but it raised me to be a better adult. In my opinion, it raised me to be a better adult because, you know, for one, this world, like I said, this world isn't kind. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're soft, it's my philosophy. If you're soft on your kids, this world is just going to chew them up and spit them the fuck out. Oh, did
It's
little one,
it's gonna happen. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen.
you know. But this world, you know, if you're not tough on your kids, this world will chew them and spit them out. You know, and raising soft kid, raising soft kids, like I said, in my opinion, raising soft kids is what
All these
is
bullies
called,
are.
well, yeah, the bullies, but then you, like I said, you got the kids that eat Tide Pods. You know,
Yeah, that was a
I
dark
was
time.
just I was just having this discussion with my other half earlier this week. I brought that up. I brought that up because And she said, "Yeah, but we did stupid shit when we were kids too." I
My
said,
God.
I said, "Yeah, we did some stupid shit. I know I did some stupid shit, but
Drinking from the water hose, staying
you
out
know,
all night,
I
things
didn't
like that.
do I didn't I
Drinking.
didn't do shit that I knew, you know,
Oh, close the door.
was going to kill I was going to that I knew was going to kill me for a few likes."
I don't know. I mean, I feel be soft with your kids until they're able to really communicate with you and you know they're comprehending.
Yeah.
That's when you start being tough a little bit and just kind of working your way up so that they can handle it. So they're not going to school when they're in high school. They're not in the ninth grade. Come back, oh, this person called me fat and ugly. Instead, they're just like, oh, I got into an argument because they called me fat and I went
Well,
off.
I mean, that I'm like I said, I'm tough. I'm tough on the kids, but I'm fair.
Yeah,
You know that, and that's where I said there's a difference between tough love and being an asshole parent.
yeah. And I don't, I hope I'm not an asshole parent, but I am tough on my kids, especially
Yeah.
my oldest because she's 17. She's going to be 18 soon. I'm just like, certain things, like these boys, certain things. I,
I get it. Trust
I
me, I get it. You ain't you don't have to tell me. I get it. You know, we have a we have a 16-year old, and I went from, like I said, I went from having one child. I went from having one child who was 8 at the time to having a 16, a 10, an 8, and a 5-year old. So I've literally got the whole range of children.
well, okay, well, you can't step on that. You can't step on that. Okay, let's see. Let's get back.
All right. Yeah, we went
Oh,
off on we definitely went off on a 15-minute tangent.
I mean, all right, let's go right there. Right
Yep.
there.
The wind up doll. Well, you see what had transpired. You see what had transpired in that TikTok video about how her parents were, control had her in a conservatorship and were controlling her money. And when she was making, and I fully believe that whole TikTok. That does not surprise me in the least bit, especially not, especially if you would have told me that, if you'd have told me that, what, 5-10 years ago when all that Amanda Bynes stuff started coming out, I would have
Yeah.
been like, yeah, she's just fucking crazy. But after, the perfect example, the Britney Spears shit that ties basically almost to a T what Amanda Bynes goes through is going
Yeah.
went says she went through. That it makes more sense now.
Yeah, and it's like this part right here. They said that they wouldn't let the parents with the kids like that. But yet Amanda Bynes' dad right here, and then he's popping that boy on the butt with the. I mean, he's using a binder or something, but still, why are you popping that little boy on the butt? That's not even your son.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if it's your child and you do like. I mean, I do that to the baby.
Yeah.
You know, just like a little tap or whatever. But for somebody else to do that to my child, it will make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I'm sure the parents didn't see that because you see he's the only parent in the room.
Yeah, and that's what doesn't make sense is how they
It
said
does
Dan didn't like parents there, but he let Amanda's dad be there.
because and this is where I said you said Dan Schneider wasn't so much concerned about her talent as other things. But I'm pretty sure that Dan Schneider was on such a power trip, and Amanda Bynes was a very talented actress and
She's talented.
comedian. So if he was so concerned about making his money and building his little empire so he could be something,
Mm-hmm.
that he saw somebody as talented as Amanda Bynes, and her dad being her agent. Her dad probably was like, "Well, I'm not gonna." it's not going to happen if, I'm not there. If I'm not a part of it. And he saw how talented she was, and he wanted her so badly that he just agreed to stuff like that.
Let me see. And speaking of, since we're like, this one kind of focuses on her for the most part. I'm gonna see if I can find that TikTok I sent you. Cause I'll be watching that. Oh, here it goes.
I was going to say it shouldn't be too hard to find. That's been pretty fucking viral the last couple days.
I was looking for it. So let's stop and then let's do it for the TikTok. Okay, here it goes. So I'm gonna play this real quick. Oh gosh, you want to be special? That's fine.
No sound. There's no sound on it.
I think because I
People in Hollywood.
okay.
She was also Amanda Bynes explained the truth about Dan Snyder and Nickelodeon in her secret Twitter account years ago. Ashley's secret account went by the name of Ashley Banks, and she said she created this account at the time because her parents were controlling everything that she was doing, and she wanted the truth to be heard. She was explaining the truth about a lot of different things, including things that had to do with her, her family, and even other people in Hollywood. She was also crying out for help on this Twitter account and saying that they were stealing her money, and that's why she was placed in this conservatorship. She posted pictures of her ID and pictures of herself to show everybody that this was an original account made by her. And here are some of the things that Amanda Bynes said on this Twitter account. I've been forced to deny this account again to prevent them from having me committed against my will again. Can you imagine having an abortion at 13 because your boss impregnated you, committed because your father touched you, exposing the truth and then having your freedom threatened? And honestly, this tweet was probably the most heartbreaking to hear about how she was impregnated when she was 13 by her boss. And who else would have been her boss when she was 13 years old?
Dan fucking Schneider.
And I'm not a big person with blind items, but I'm going to read you guys a blind item from Crazy Day and Night, who was known to have a really good relationship with Amanda Bynes. And in this message, she actually puts a secret message in there, and it talks about Dan Snyder. And here is this blind item that has a secret message hidden within this, and this is from Amanda Bynes. And in the beginning of this message, she puts capital letters in weird places, and then you find out what each one of these capital letters is saying. I tried to highlight each word where these capital letters are, just so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. The first capital letter is D, and then an A, and then an N, which would spell Dan, and then D, then I, then D, which would spell did, and then I, and then T, which would spell it. So altogether, this message is saying Dan did it. And that absolutely gives me chills. Because like I said, throughout the rest of this message, there are no capital letters except where they should be. And I'm just going to read you guys the beginning of this blind item because it ties in even more. Last night, after the news broke about a certain producer and actress, all you know who knows the producer as well as anyone who sent me this. Thank you for all your ongoing support. I don't know how any of these men sleep at night, but there is one thing that I do know. It's that what's done in the dark will always come to light. XOXO. On this account, she also alleged that John Travolta was an SA offender. If you want to F men, that's fine, that's adorbs, but when you SA and harass these men, then you must face justice. He always had men in his trailer, men. I walked in on him and another male masseuse and was nearly fired. He's sick. John Travolta is a monster. It bothers me that John Travolta is not being treated as Bill Cosby is. John Travolta is I know this. And a lot of you might wonder, how would Amanda Bynes know this about John Travolta? Well, back in 2006, Amanda Bynes and John Travolta were in this movie called Hairspray. Amanda Bynes, of course, is right here, and John Travolta is actually dressed like this woman as a character in the movie. So I'm assuming this is what Amanda Bynes meant when she said she knew about John Travolta. She then went on to say, "The jig is up. They use me and my talent only to have me committed and steal millions." And during this time, Amanda Bynes' official account was discrediting this account and everything that it was saying. So then she posted, "My parents are the ones tweeting on the Amanda Bynes original account. I am deleting this account. Please pray for my freedom and chance to have control over my finances." And reading all this absolutely breaks my heart, but I hope Amanda Bynes is able to speak her truth soon.
Yeah, that was a little bit on the heartbreaking side, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but up until somebody comes for, you got to realize this too. That's all just speculation until somebody actually comes forward. You know,
I believe it.
Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, the whole Me Too movement and all that stuff. None of that would have been possible, and it all would have been speculation and hidden, swept under the rug until somebody came forward. As to this day, nobody has come forward yet.
Okay, it seems like from her old Twitter account, from what that girl found, it seems like she tried to come forward the best way that she could, considering her parents were controlling everything.
Yeah,
And it was
now
like,
I'm talking about just the John Travolta stuff. I'm not talking. Like I told you, I fully believe 100% that her
man,
parents that her parents were controlling her. Were
yeah,
controlling her.
even now, if you look at how she looks right now, it's just like, who is that? Like I saw her.
Well, that's an
It was
obvious.
a snap. I saw a Snapchat of her,
Oh
like how
yeah.
they have the little stories.
Oh yeah.
And they had one for her, which was talking about like a podcast or something, and how she got surgery for the lines or something on her eyes right here. And I was like, that's not Amanda Bynes. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, you got to look at this too. You got to look at it too. What did we talk about at the beginning of this? The beginning of this podcast. Um, like what this industry does to young kids like that, like the the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, the mental toll it takes on them. um you know Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, they're perfect examples of, you know not only what can happen when you have shitty parents that are only, you know what, another, actually, as a matter of fact, because um my other half showed me another TikTok about Honey Boo Boo and her mom. you know
And I knew
Honey Boo
this.
Boo's 18 now, about to go to college, and her mom and Mama June, she has, you know how much money Honey Boo Boo has right now? $30,000
in, in total.
in total, because
But
Mama June went and spent all her money on drugs, her new teeth from her new teeth. She got, Mama June has a whole brand new mouthful of fucking teeth because all the drugs she did ruined her teeth. So she went out and spent Honey Boo Boo. She went spent her daughter's money on drugs, on houses, on cars, on, new teeth, you know, millions of dollars that little she made off her daughter, and that was meant for her, and spent it all. She has 30. She can't even pay her pay her way through college right now because she has $30,000. That's that's it.
crazy.
You know,
And to get
it's
to
pretty
where
set. If you don't, that's the other thing. If you don't have good parents and you're a child star, you you end up like an Amanda Bynes, like a Britney Spears, like a Honey Boo Boo. I mean, because I mean, then you see the other side of it though too, because we'll talk about it later. Drake's dad.
in an abusive relationship.
Okay, you want into that. You don't leave my
This
glass
is
alone.
ludicrous.
All right, who called for ludicrous?
You're gonna mute that.
Oh, you don't need me.
You
Like a
don't leave
good
my
neighbor,
glass
State
alone.
Farm is there.
Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Lovely home, by the way.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good
When
neighbor,
you're
State
Ram,
Farm is
and when trucks
there.
are what you do
Let's
truck
talk about
month
that
better
because
than
State
anyone
Farm
else.
wasn't there.
You do trucks
As
that
a matter
work
of
harder
as a
and
matter
play
of
harder.
fact,
And you
I'm
do
not going to
trucks
say
that
what
win
the
by
hell I'm going to
breaking
say.
every
I want
rule
to
of
say
what a truck
because I
should
don't
be.
want to get anybody
So
in
this
trouble.
truck month, what you should do is drive a Ram. Trucks are what we do.
Staying out of trouble.
But I just had an experience with State Farm this week that I am not very happy with. Took advantage. He paid everybody else an individual salary except the 2 women writers he had on his staff, made them split a salary. That kind of sexism right there is what's wrong for not only this industry but just in general. You know.
It's just like, okay, they didn't know each other, but then they get to know each other and they get close and they
Mm-hmm.
see how things are going on and they're trying to be there for each other, and then they lose part like a half of their whole, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
But it's like just one dealing with it, but it's just a simple fact of they didn't know that it was wrong.
And you're gonna see as we go through, as they start to learn more and learn how fucked up the situation is, he starts to phase them out. But what disturbs me more is the disgusting shit that he made them do. Just for he made them how small he made them feel, how you know, like he didn't do he
Exactly.
like the ice cream. Well, for one, the ice cream thing. The one ice cream thing that Christy talks about. You know
Why would
how desperate she was. How desperate he made.
she was for
How
money?
desperate he made them for money. For money that they're willing to degrade themselves just to make
That's
enough money to survive. You know
Yeah, I would never.
what the
I mean,
worst the worst one the worst one is
the
the
sodomy.
sodomy. That's disturbing. And
And
the fact that everybody was so fucking scared to even say anything.
I mean, if you notice, he was harder on the
Uh-huh.
one with the shorter hair.
Yeah.
He was worse to her than he was to this one that we see on screen right now.
Yeah, but he was horrible to both of them.
He was horrible to both, but he didn't do the sodomy with this one, and he didn't do the ice cream with this one.
No.
And then when it came down to it, where he wanted to edge one of them out, he edged the other one
Her out first. But then
Yeah.
in the first 5 minutes of the second episode, he basically forces her out by doing some sick you know doing some sick shit to her.
I don't know if he did sick shit to her. I think it was
Yeah, he
more.
did. He did that. The reason she quit and ended up filing that lawsuit in the first 5 minutes of the second episode. And I'm sure we'll get back into that when we go into the second episode. He brought her into the writing room in front of all the writers, which she was the only female writer, and said, "Didn't you used to do phone sex?"
Oh yeah, yeah, that was very wild. I was thinking like actual making her do something like he did to the
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
he was fucked up to both of them, but he edged the other one out first for
Uh-huh.
whatever reason. And this is the one that actually did the lawsuit on him and got the other one to back her up.
And you see what that caused them. The fucking had the industry fucking blackball them.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least they were able. They have that in black and white.
Yep.
That this really happened. It wasn't just a he say she say type of
But
thing. It's
yeah.
You can go to the court and pull that up, and it's
Yeah.
like.
But see, this is what I bringing it back. This is what I was trying to say earlier. The fact that he got away with this shit. Nickelodeon let him get away with this shit. In
For
today's
so long.
society, if he did something like that, he would have been fired immediately. But
Yeah.
the fact that he was making them so much money, they just swept it under the fucking rug.
It wasn't just that he was making them so much money. It was okay. If this were to happen right now, like if we think about it, if it were to happen right now, like let's just use me and your other half. We're
Yeah.
working in the same place. Our boss is a sexist pig. One of us speaks up, goes to HR. Any HR with half a brain, they're gonna investigate that shit immediately, and he's gonna be out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have multiple people coming at you about it.
Absolutely.
Back then, a lot of people didn't want to sit there and speak up. A lot of shit just
Well,
turned.
especially those women, because like I said, that was both their first job in the they both wanted to be writers in the industry, and that was their first job. So yeah, they're going to try it. They're going to do everything they can to stay in that industry.
Yeah, and on top of that, we don't know if they were married or anything at the time. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah, they
had
never
they
say.
been married or they've been in a relationship with someone, with somebody that actually wants to be with them, because let's face it, our generation right now, a lot of the men suck. But let's say they're with somebody that actually wants to be with them, that guy is not going to stand up for some man. Oh yeah, oh you have my
But
girl sodomy, sodomy
yeah,
really? Okay,
yeah, but you can't necessarily say that because for one, there's a couple of factors you got to fix. They might not have said anything for one. Two, for one, because of them wanting to be in the industry that bad. You know.
yeah,
Two, two. There's no saying that their spouses could or would do anything.
yeah,
Hey, can we? Is there any way we can throw this on a pause real quick? I really need to step
yeah.
away and use the bathroom real quick.
Let me put the
We
beer
will
in.
be right back, folks.
Chill.
Okay.
Like, let me remember to do that.
We are back, folks. Sorry about that.
Hey, you're fine. And I get what you're saying, and I'm just thinking, standpoint right now, if I'm with somebody, like actually an actual committed relationship, they know how I am. There is no way in hell there's going to be a grown man, even supervisor, not calling the house late at night, questioning things.
Yeah.
You know, if
No, I 100% get you, but you know, it's from being in music. Okay, from being in music as long as I have been,
mhm,
you know, because I come from a music background. Um, you know, I know the music industry is also like that. I mean, they're some of the stuff they some of the stuff they're saying that these women are saying in that happened in with this and in the movie industry and the TV industry. I've seen the exact same things happen in the music industry also. So
I mean,
it's very common, and you know, you when you're trying to make it like these women are, and you know these artists are, and these actors and actresses are, you're so afraid
to make the
that
wrong.
you're going to get blacklisted, blackballed. You're, you know, when your dream like these ladies were to be writers on a major show, or you know, you're a starving music artist or a starving actor or actress trying to make it in the industry, and that's your dream, you're going to put up with a lot of bullshit because you know you only have a chance that's literally this big to make it. You know, it's like the whole Harvey Weinstein, you know, the whole Harvey Weinstein with the women. He literally had a room in his office with a bed in it, and one of the requirements for these actors, if he wanted to make it, if because he was the man that made actresses and made, you know, actors famous. These actresses, if you wanted to make it, you were going in that room and you were fucking him. You know, people, that's, in my opinion, that's one of the things I feel like is wrong in today's society. People will sacrifice their morals for a little bit of fame. And it's sad
Yeah.
to say because it shouldn't be that way, but it is. Unfortunately, that's just the thing.
Okay.
You know, for being the smartest species on the earth, we sure are some dumb motherfuckers sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. Let's get into them a little bit more. I'm not gonna go through all of it. Okay, right here.
Yeah, I want to get that's you know, that's power when you have the parents of these children's too afraid to speak out because they're so afraid that if they stand up for their children that they're going to ruin their child's career.
And here's the problem I have with this. How are you gonna get upset that okay, that girl was a regular.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she was a guest, you know, one episode of the season or whatever. She had a recurring role on
Mhm.
the show, meaning she knew the cast. The cast and crew knew her. She knew the cast and crew. Why are you gonna feel some type of way when number one, it's this little girl's birthday, and then number two, people are trying to make her feel special for her birthday. And
Mhm.
obviously, Amanda didn't have a problem with it because you see her clearly in the picture smiling and everything else. If Amanda had a problem with it, she wouldn't have been smiling in the picture. She would have had a face like, what the fuck? So, why are you going to make this girl feel like shit for her birthday?
Yeah.
Because people did something for her. It's not like she came in there with the cake, like, oh, it's my birthday, let's celebrate. No, they knew it was her birthday, and they did this to make her feel special for her birthday.
Yeah. Exactly.
You want to make a child feel bad because of what other people did for her.
Yep.
And then her mother, oh, I don't want to speak up for my child because I don't want to ruin their career. Um, I'm sorry, but we're supposed to protect our kids. The adults are supposed to protect the children.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
So if you feel some type of way, you're supposed to speak up, not just, well, we're getting a paycheck, so it's okay, I guess. I'll just deal with. No, fuck
But
that paycheck.
if you look at what her mother said, it wasn't about the paycheck. It was about ruining this experience for her child, which I can understand that. Which
I
I
under-
can because at that point in time, how Dan Schneider was.
yeah, but she
What?
could have talked to her daughter and asked her how she felt about it and if she really wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And they could have found, I mean, like I said earlier, you can find other ways to come at a situation or talk about something or and I mean like I told this to my oldest because she's 17 and she's got that teenager attitude and I told her I'm like it's not always what you say to me, it's
How you
how
say
you
it.
say it. So and then because she'll just find me, oh, I didn't say it like this. I'm like, no, it was the way you said it. It's like you had an attitude. If you want an attitude, I'm the queen of this shit, let's go. And she'll just look at
Get
me
that.
crazy. And I'm just telling her, I'm like, it's not what you're telling me, it's how you're saying it. You can
Mm-hmm.
tell me, oh, I just want to go to my friend's house. But if you're telling me with an attitude, it's because how you're fucking saying it.
Yep.
Like,
But I have that same discussion with my girls. You know,
and
you
I
can
mean,
be, you can mean something innocently. You can, but if you come across it in a certain way, we take it in a certain way.
yeah,
I get that. I get that. But like I said, I can also understand where
she didn't want to ruin it for
she didn't want
her
to ruin,
daughter.
yeah, her experience and her possible possible career because this is something that girl that she wanted to do. I can see where that comes in too. Um, now,
Yeah,
like I said, there's a difference, like I said, between something like that we're talking about and what we talked about with the other girl, the girl and the the
Brandy's
pet the
daughter.
pedo
We
the
haven't gotten
pedo.
to her yet.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. Trust me. That the next couple episodes are going to be
Yeah.
wild.
My whole thing with this girl's mom, I understand you didn't want to ruin the experience. Like, isn't if you think about it, had all this fuck shit not been going on, this was a great experience for all of these kids. They're on
Yeah.
TV, they're getting paid to have fun, they're making friends. It's like us with streaming, like we're making new friends we never thought we would make from different places.
Oh,
I
100%.
But as the parent, if you saw something that made you feel some type of way, you could have easily talked to your child. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel on set? What is it like? Like, you could have asked questions
Oh, I
to,
get, yeah, 100%. I
you
agree.
know, and it,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not
yeah,
disagreeing with you at all. All I'm saying
all
is I
right.
can also see where this mother was coming from. Like I
Yeah, no,
said,
I know you're not disagreeing. I'm just saying, like, there's other ways she could have gone about it, and she could have easily had her go audition for something else and probably got her on it and quietly left
yeah,
from Nickelodeon.
I
And
get
she
that.
probably could have had a better experience as a child star growing up than she did with Nickelodeon because the fact that she had the experience she had, now she's like, I don't want my kids doing acting as kids. No, fuck that. Not
But
happening.
here's the thing. It's that old saying, hindsight's always 2020. I'm sure at that moment, that mother felt that she was making the best decision for her child. You
Yeah.
know, once again, you also got to realize we're talking 30 years ago. We're talking 25, 30 years ago now. There's a, it was completely different. I mean, look at how different things were when we were kids compared to kids nowadays. You
I,
know,
I like I told you, I even told you when we were talking on Twitter, I'm like, I used to watch this as a kid.
yeah,
Now it's like I'm looking at it now, I'm just like, I would never let my kids go through this.
go through the,
Like my whole thing when I became a parent, and my one of my uncles told me this, and it stuck with me. I remember I had my oldest daughter, and in that first Christmas, he got he got me like a perfume, or his wife, whoever he was with at the time. That man switches out like crazy, but it is what it is. But he got me something, and then he was just like, "Don't expect to always get stuff from everybody for Christmas and your birthday from now on, because you have a child, and it's not about you anymore. It's about your child. And when you have kids, it's no longer about you. It's about your kids."
yep.
And I mean, me growing up, I didn't have my mom around all the time because she worked a lot and she did her own thing. And it's like, it's fine, whatever. It just made me stronger. My dad tried to be there how he could because my parents weren't together. But I always said, I don't care if I stress my kids out. I'm going to try to be there as much as I can. And I even ask, like, I'll ask my oldest because she's around me the most. And I'll just tell her, like, am I being too hard? Do you think I'm a bad parent? She's like, no, but you are mean sometimes. I was like, I can deal with being mean.
I was gonna say at times we have to be mean.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'll tell her, I flat out tell her, I mean, she's seen it. She's seen me. I will go.
Hmm.
I've gone off at her schools. Like, I've gone off on her teachers. I've had her teachers act a certain type of way, and I've cussed
Hmm.
them out in front of all the kids. I'm just like, you might do this with other kids, but you're not going to do this with my kids.
Hmm. I
You're
agree.
her teacher. You're supposed to do this. This is how we're gonna do this. And I've talked to my daughter, and she's seen Nickelodeon auditions pop up where, oh, we're in your state, we're in your town. You want to do this? She actually went to a Disney audition, and she was just like, "Mom, I don't want to do this." So I'm like, "Okay, fine."
There we go.
That's
But my here's the thing: you have to be a parent first and a friend second to your kids. That's the thing. Like I said, a lot of these parents nowadays are trying to be their kids' best friends.
that doesn't work like
It
that.
doesn't work. It doesn't work because
It don't
you know.
work. And I mean, I'm one of those parents where I'm completely upfront and honest with my kids. And I've gone to streams where they're just like, oh, make sure your kids aren't, or they'll tell me like, oh, if I curse, I don't. And I'm just like, have you talked to me? My kids live with me. They know that.
Oh
they
yeah.
they know. And then like my oldest, she's even like, she's like, she'll just give me this look like, because they'll be like, oh, well, we don't want to cuss in front of your kids and this that, and the other. And my oldest is like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's it. We have a. I've always. I mean, I have a foul mouth. There's no. I'm basically holding it back on this for the most part, but you know,
As
every
a
other word.
sailor.
Fuck is the every other word out of my mouth on the daily. I've adopted this policy since I've been with my other half now because this is the policy she has with her kids. Kids are allowed in this household. Kids are allowed to cuss as long as they use it prop in the proper context.
Mine aren't allowed to. My not my oldest, my middle child. She's bilingual,
What?
kind of.
Yeah, and she just said they're not allowed to use their words against each other either. But like we had a funny moment not too long ago. Not too long ago was what did the youngest one say? Is it she called Luna or somebody? She said Luna was being a bitch or something like that. Yeah, she said our dog was being a little bitch. And she's 5, mind you. She's 5 years old.
It's, like, honestly, I have all girls. I have 3 of them.
We have 4.
I
We
don't
have
want
4 girls. Yeah,
I don't want them fighting with each other.
yeah,
I don't want them to be weak, but I also tell them, I'm like, with the baby, because baby's gonna be 2 in August.
yeah,
I'll get on my oldest because she'll try to bully her a little bit. I'm like, don't do that. It's like, oh, you're playing favoritism. And I'm like, no, you're gonna wait. Go try that shit with your 13-year-old sister. It's like, no, she's gonna squish me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. We don't bully. Like, my thing is, we're not bullying nobody, especially
yeah.
someone younger than you.
Well,
We're
see,
not doing
that's we kind of have. I've my 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 daughter my daughter went back to her mom the other week, and I found this out because the last time I had my daughter, which was last weekend, which was the last weekend because I get my daughter every other weekend, right? My ex-wife tells my other half that my daughter told her that I'm I've been harder on her we moved since I moved in with her. Since but what she doesn't understand is, so like I said, we have a 5-year old, a 9-year old, and now 11-year old and a 16-year old.
that. Yeah.
Since I introduced my daughter to her girls, that my daughter and the 11-year old have become very, very close friends, like like true sisters. You know, they
Yeah.
do everything together. They each got a phone for Christmas now,
Mhm.
so they're constantly FaceTiming each other. You know, stuff like that. But when they're here, they box out and bully the 5-year old
I know.
because they just want to. They finally have somebody their own age. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like my ex-wife has, uh, she had my daughter or my ex-wife's has a younger brother and a younger sister, so she's never really had anybody. She's my only one.
Yeah.
You know, so she's never had anybody like her age to really as a sibling to connect with.
Yeah. I get it.
But I'm also not going to put up with the bullshit. When I see her bully, and my daughter, bless her heart, she's a kind soul. She's got a heart of gold, and she's very soft when it comes to criticism.
Yeah.
But like when I see her bullying the 5-year old, I get on her ass.
As you should.
I go in I go in full dad mode, and because I don't care whether it's your own siblings or it's somebody at school. I'm not raising a bully. I refuse to raise a bully. I was bullied as a kid. I know how it feels. I'm not going to let you do that to somebody else,
I think we
especially
all.
since my daughter's already been the victim of bullying.
Oh yeah. No. No.
So she knows how it feels. So why if you know exactly how it feels, why are you going to do that to somebody else, that's especially somebody that is going to be is if you don't feel like it already is going to be family,
Yeah. I
you
get it.
know.
I mean, my whole thing with my kids is okay. The 17-year-old and 13-year-old, they grew up close to each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're close in age. Okay, y'all want to duke it out? Go ahead. I even say it. Like, my oldest, she'll be like, oh, you're doing favoritism again. Because I'll tell her, you want to piss your sister off and she wants to whip your ass? Fuck it. Y'all are close in age. I don't care.
And
That's what we live out.
how's it going to feel on you as a 17-year-old to get beat up by your 13-year-old sister?
Yeah, but now when it comes to the baby Harley is almost 2.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk. Well, she doesn't talk in English or Spanish, and I've asked her multiple times, "Can you respond in English or Spanish? I understand both." And she hasn't. she only knows 3 words right now. She walks around and everything else, and it's just like she's defenseless.
Yeah.
If you think about it, she is defenseless.
Well,
You are here to protect her. That is your baby sister. You are the oldest. You're gonna protect her. You're not gonna bully her. Now, when she turns 7, 8 years old, and she's more, she comprehends better and everything else. Okay, y'all want to fight each other, and it looks like she can handle her own. All right, fine, fuck it, whatever. But right now, no, we're not doing that because I'm gonna fuck you up my goddamn self.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like she's 4 and 6 years younger than the middle children, for one, and two, she's half the size of them.
Yeah,
Like, and you're going to pick on. That'd be like me, and that's what one of the things I told her. That'd be like me picking on you. Like, do you want me to pick on you? Because the last time when I was telling you about this, what caused her to say that I treat her meaner since I've or harder since I've moved in here is I watched my 9-year-old push the 5-year-old.
yeah, no,
Like,
like
watched her physically. No, 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 no.
no, like with me, and I say this to everybody. There's 3 things like outside of my kids that you're not gonna do in front of me. You're not gonna bully or hurt a child, like a little kid that's defenseless, an animal, or in like some the elderly. Like
Yeah,
we're not doing that. I don't care. Like even my best friend, I call her dad.
yeah.
And he acts like I'm his daughter. He's like, "Hi Miha, how are you?" And I'll even joke around him. I'm like, "Can I run your son over? Can I hit him with a car?" And he's like, "No, no, Miha, that's not how we handle our anger." And I'm just like, what if I accidentally fender bender and we don't know that it's me, or I don't know that it's him? Like, and I'll tell my best friend, I'm like, leave that alone. He's senile. He doesn't know what's going on. I mean, he still keeps your brother around. He doesn't know, but she knows. When it comes to her dad, somebody tries to fuck with him. Like I get on her
Yeah.
about her brother taking advantage of her dad. I get on her dad about allowing his son to take advantage of him. So I'm like, you need to cut the cord. You need to let it go. Like, stop it. And he's like, I know, Mija. I know. I'm like, no. He's grown. He's married. Tell him no. And it's like, she's even said it. She goes, well, typically when you tell dad something, he listens. I'm like, not really, because he still has your brother around. And, he tells me, he's like, well, that's my son. I'm like, he don't look like you. He goes, well, they say he's my son. And I'm like, did the hospital switch him at birth? That is a thing. But it's like I'm that person. If I see something, I'm gonna say something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'm gonna say something. I even
As
had a friend. He has his own YouTube and everything else that he does.
Yeah,
And we were messaging the other day, and he's like, "Oh, this person's taking stuff out of context." I'm like, "Who?" And he gave me the name, and I'm like, "What platform?" Because I know he has his Twitter, his YouTube, he's got his Facebook, his
yeah,
Instagram. I'm like, "What platform?" And we were messaging on Facebook, so I went on. I was like, let me just look on Facebook. So I looked at his most recent post on Facebook, and I went and looked at her comments. I'm like, "Oh, she's pulling the race card." So he does paranormal investigations,
uh huh.
and there's a school, ACOT. I think it was a high school or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you Google it, it says a Negro school. He said in his like his YouTube video, he said I went and checked out a colored. Well, it was once a colored school or something. Colored school sounds a whole lot better than a Negro school.
Mm-hmm.
This girl is like, oh, you're being a racist, like basically trying to call him a racist and everything else. So I went on there and I commented. I'm like, is he a race? You're calling him a racist because he's not black and he said color? Is that your problem? Like I went and I started my shit,
Yeah.
and he just, he thanked me for it, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not fully black, so let me go ask my friend. So I have a friend that's black, and I asked him. I took screenshots, and I showed him, and he's like, in all honesty, if they're gonna come at him about saying color, they need to go after the NAACP because that is an organization that's still here, and it says colored
Yeah.
in it,
No, I
and I'm
get 100% get that. Like,
and I was it's
but
like
but see,
just
that's just once again what I said, trying to cause shit to get a couple likes, doing stupid shit. You know that, and unfortunately, that's today's society. They take
And he changed his title, which pissed me off. He changed it to a once segregated school or something. But I was just like I even when I looked up on Google, I took a screenshot of what it said when I looked up that school on Google, and it said a Negro school, and I'm like, is this better? Are we gonna go after them too? Since we're pulling the race card, are we gonna go after these people too? Like, I'm telling you, I've told everybody, and like I said, I'll tell you off stream why. But yeah, I've been choosing violence, and I don't care. And I'm just like, normally I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. I'm gonna let it go. Now it's just like I got time. Anybody can get it. I'm mixed.
it's fair.
I'm hella fucking mixed. So I can't. You can't play the race card with me. You want to talk about like, oh, you can't say this, and I'm black, and it's like it's 2024. Can you let that go? Are
Right?
we gonna go after the history books for saying the N word? Like, I'm not gonna fully say it because I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. But it's like, are we gonna get in trouble for saying the N word? Are you gonna go after them for saying colored and this and the next? Like, at what point are we gonna stop? But that's a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, that's like. Did you see that? Did you see the the TikTok video that raised a controversy the other a couple weeks ago with the girl went into the hot tub and started twerking, and the woman and her young daughter were in the hot tub, and she called them racist because when she got in the hot tub and started twerking, they got out. And it wasn't because and she said they they were when you make rate it, I think the wording on the TikTok was making racist leaves or something. And it's not because they were being racist, it's because that woman didn't want her young daughter to be in a video, of
You're twerking in a
yeah,
hot tub.
in a
Yeah,
hot tub.
I didn't see that, but as a mother, yeah, no. And I've had people call me racist before, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, as much shit as I'm mixed with, there is no possible way in hell I could be racist, even if I wanted to.
I mean, I look at you see this. I am the face of whiteness, and I get called. I don't even do anything. Anybody who knows me knows that I am not a racist person. I am one of the kindest people you're ever going to meet. I mean, not. I'm just saying, but I get called racist all the time. You know.
I, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about the racist because we're gonna have to do that for a whole nother
Yeah,
topic,
we're
a
gonna have to do a
whole
whole nother episode.
nother episode. But like I said, I'm mixed. I'm mixed with damn near everything in the fucking book. I'm probably then some. I have literally flat out had black guys call me racist because I don't want to date them. I'm just like, I'm not attracted to you. What do you want from me? I can't force myself to be attracted to you if I'm not attracted to you. Um, I've gone like today. I went into a subway. The lady just flat out. She looks at me. Hola, cómo estás? And I'm just like, hola, bien. ¿Y tú? She's like, oh, muy bien. You know, it's like, okay. If I go into an establishment where it's predominantly some kind of Spanish going on, they don't talk to me in English unless they know me.
Yeah.
I and I'm just like, what the fuck? And my best friend's like, well, you do look like you could be Dominican or something. I'm like, but I don't even have Dominican in my blood. But it's just like, I flat out will have people talking to me in Spanish. Like my mom, she's predominantly black.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the Michoacana or like one of the meat markets, and she'll stand there and she'll point to what she wants, and I have to go to the people and translate, and then I'll just connect to her, and I'm like, can you just learn basic Spanish already? So she's like, I don't speak Spanish. I'm like, libre, like pounds, libre, pounds, one, dos, two, like, get your phone, Google, you know?
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, and that's the thing. Like all the phones now, Google Translate works wonders.
That really does. But it's just a simple fact, like, I was door dashing earlier, and I went to the subway, and the lady she just looks at me and just starts talking to Spanish. I'm just like, well, I guess I'm glad I understand what you want, what you're asking me, because if I didn't,
Di- but the thing is, that's not real. I mean, is that racism? Not really.
it's not racism, but like actually having guys call me racist because I don't want to date a black guy. It's like I could be friends with you, but I'm not attracted to you like
Yeah.
that.
No,
You
I
know?
get that. I get
And
that
it's
100%.
and I don't even think it's the color of their skin. It's just everybody's different, and with me being mixed, I can see the differences in certain people, and I can tell who's black. I can tell who's white. I can tell who's mixed. I can tell who has some Spanish in them. Like that's me. Unfortunately, it's but I've been told since elementary school, oh, you don't like black, you don't want to be a black guy, you're racist. You're One of your baby daddies is Salvadorian, and the other one he's like white for the most part, and the other one is straight up white boy. And it's like I like what I like. I deal with what I deal with. If I'm not attracted to you like that, it's just it is what it is.
And
I'm
that's
sorry.
fair. And that's fair. It shouldn't be, you know,
But
there should be nothing based on the color of your skin. You know, it's your content. I hate to
it's the
it's the
character.
content of your character or or
And I
your
think
personality. Like that's how it should be. Like,
a lot of it has to the aunt I told you I don't like.
yeah.
She always has this thing. You need to get with a black man. You have to be with a black man. And I'm just like, a black man don't even want you because you're still single. They all left you, so what's the difference? you
Mic
know.
drop.
And then like she'll tell my daughter, she'll be like, y'all are black. I don't care what your mom says. Y'all are black. And then they'll come back to like my 13-year-old. She'll be like, my dad's Salvadorian. I'm not fully black. I have black in me, but my dad's Salvadorian. And I'm just like, don't listen to that crazy lady. She crazy. And even my oldest mom's like, I'm not fully black. I mean, we have other things in us. And I was like, don't listen to her. She's
Yeah.
stupid. Well, let's get back on topic because
Yeah, we're gonna
we're
have to
probably
finish.
not we're probably not gonna finish it all tonight.
Probably not.
I thought we were, but we're probably not.
We
But
might
we're
get through this first episode, but I got to be up early, so we're gonna have to. It's midnight here, so we're gonna have to push this through.
let me see. Do we need to? Yeah, this might be important. So let's go. 30
The
times.
pain in that woman's face when she realized she did that to try and make it a better fucking workplace, and it did absolutely nothing. So she ruined her shot at the career she really, really wanted, and it was all for nothing.
I mean, now it's for something because the truth is coming out. And I mean, like they said earlier on, and this is something that, I mean, even I know because my mom used to say it when I was a kid. My grandma used to say it. What's done in the dark comes to light.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, all this shit was kind of done in the dark back then, but now it's really, it's really starting to come to light because it seems like everybody is starting to see. I should have spoke up back then, but it's kind of safe for me to speak up now.
Hmm. Once again, like I said, hindsight's always 2020. But the problem with that is in between then and now, how many lives and careers were ruined because of it?
I mean, as far as this airing, we only know about three pedophiles.
Hmm.
We know about three.
Which, and I don't want to give everything away, but look at one of them that was caught, went on to work for another major network.
Yeah, but he didn't. I don't think he stayed over there. I think once people kind of found out, it was like, no, you gotta go.
Mm-mm.
He's
He was on another major show. He was on a remember he
yeah.
he was on another major show on another major network, and even the director, or was it the director or
Yeah, it was the
producer, and
directors. They
producer
said they didn't.
and his wife, they
They
didn't
were told
care.
it was handled.
Yeah,
They were told it was handled, and that's why they brought him over.
yeah.
But I don't think what I'm saying is I don't think they kept him on once they found out.
I don't think it ever said anything about that, to be honest with you,
Cause I,
because
to be
I remember my jaw hitting the floor when I found that out.
yeah, mine did too. And I mean, to be fair, the only thing that I really knew that was probably bad about Disney, but it seems like child's play compared to what we see in these 4 episodes, was that Walt Disney he treated the men better than he treated the women. But you also got to remember that's to be
Different time,
expected
different
because
time.
yeah, during that time it's kind of to be expected.
But
So
you
I
gotta,
can't really get mad about
yeah,
that. But this I can get mad about.
you gotta real, you gotta realize though too, Disney's not in the clear either. Because I'll give you a perfect example. Just recently, they found two or three pedophile known registered sex offenders were working as characters at Disney World.
Oh my god. I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I know about like the actual Disney properties is like the speculations of what was it? It was like It's a Small World. How somebody got warped, like a family got warped into some kind of time continuum type shit, whatever. And I'm just like,
That's tinfoil hat stuff.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know if this is real, but okay, whatever y'all say. I don't fully remember going on that ride, but and then they talk about the tunnels in certain places of Disney. And I'm
Well,
just like,
there's a tunnel network that runs all underneath Disney.
yeah,
It's for
I
the
mean,
character, for the actors and actresses and staff to move around without being seen. And
I'm just like, I don't know how true some of this stuff is. It's like,
no, a lot of, you got to realize 90% of that is tinfoil hat shit.
I mean, okay, with Nickelodeon, we can actually see.
Oh yeah.
We watch these episodes, like we go back and watch these episodes, we can actually see. Disney is like it's more so he say she say type shit
Mm-hmm. There's
because we don't know. We
yeah,
don't fucking know.
there's
And
little stuff that's come out, but at the same time, like you said, most of it's most of it is just hearsay. You're right, absolutely 100%. But I'm
like
sure at some point in time, something's going to come out.
Like even with the whole Orlando situation, yes, he has gone batshit crazy. He's gone batshit crazy. The only thing is, the shit that he's talking about is not necessarily shit that happened on shows like what's going on with this.
Yeah.
This stuff, it was out there in our faces, but we didn't know because we were kids. And now that we're adults, we're seeing it. The stuff that Orlando's talking about, we didn't see that because it wasn't actually happening on shows. So we don't know.
That we
The
know.
stuff with Bill
Yeah.
Cosby, it was happening on the shows, but it was happening behind the scenes. But it was still on the show. So I get why they're coming at him about that. So it's like you have stuff that actually happens where it's either happening behind the scenes but still on the show, or it's actually happening on the show and we just don't realize that it's happening. And then there's stuff where it's a person from the show but it's happening elsewhere.
Yep.
And that's where people have to learn how to figure out how they want to do stuff, because you can't just bash like, oh, we're not going to go and bash MTV when it was just a person that was associated with MTV, but it happened in Mexico.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with MTV. You just worked there.
Yeah.
And that's the situation with Orlando. His situation, it doesn't have anything to do with this at all, other than the fact that he worked for Disney.
No, I get it
Whatever.
100%.
Like they said that his stories don't change, which typically means it's true.
Yep.
However, his stuff happened offset.
Yep.
Away from Disney. The only connection is he worked for Disney at the time.
Yeah.
So you can't, when it comes to him, you cannot blame Disney for what happened to him because it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's not like what we're going to get into with the Drake situation where it was somebody that was also working for Nickelodeon at the same time. Even though like the Drake stuff happened, technically all that stuff happened offset also, but still
But
it was somebody that was
still,
still interconnected through
he
the
was an
umbrella.
actor.
Yeah.
And the person that did it to him worked there.
Yep.
And groomed him from there.
Yep.
And picked him from there. And was on set with him. Like he was an integral part of his career because he was there.
100%. We about ready to wrap this up?
Yes, because all this left is in response to producers' questions. Nickelodeon has stated it investigates all formal complaints as part of our commitment to fostering a safe and professional workplace. We have adopted numerous safeguards over the years to help ensure we are living up to our own high standards and the expectations of our audience, which is bullshit.
We all know they say that, but we all know it's all about money. They're saving their ass is all that is.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that is.
So.
But we are going to get together and figure out when your next available date is so we can go into episode 2.
Absolutely. We will do that tomorrow morning because this old man is tired. This old man has to get up and do a bunch of stuff early in the morning. So this old man needs to get some sleep. And I have a lovely other half sitting beside me on the bed that wants me to come to bed. So
yeah, we don't want to hold you too much longer. So we're gonna get together and we're gonna figure out episode 2. But yes, we are. Make sure y'all tune in because we're gonna be breaking down and probably going on our own little tangents again for the next 3 episodes. And also, like I put in the comments of this one, if y'all have a particular movie or show that you would like us to review, let us know in the comments, or you can email me the show or the movie, whatever it may be. We'll get together, we'll watch it separately, of course, and then we'll do our own take on it.
absolutely.
I linked his Twitter in the comments as well, so if y'all want to follow him, you could do that. My Twitter is also linked, also my website. So go ahead, hit us up, follow us, let us know what you thought and keep up with us so you can find out what's going on. Because even if this doesn't fully take off in the beginning, which we already talked about, we knew it probably wouldn't happen. We're still going to do it because we want to.
Yep. All right, folks. On that note, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I am Grizzly.
And I'm Harley.
And we will see you next time.